Welcome back to Be Rich. Today I want to talk about the dark continent. The dark continent is Africa. I want to show what has happened in Africa in 31 years. In 1990, 85% of all infrastructure contracts in Africa were won by European or American companies. America dominated Africa. But over the period of time, America did not take Africa seriously and took it for granted. The rise of China in the last 2 decades has meant that China has replaced America and Europe as a main player of infrastructure in Africa. Whether it is Nigeria, Congo, Zambia, or Kenya, it is Chinese construction companies which are building a lot of infrastructure. They have built a lot of railways, one in Kenya, which would never turn a profit in their lifetime, which President Kenyatta wanted to show it off. Similarly, there have been roads, ports, and more than 3 dozen ports have been built. More than dozen airports have been spruced up by the Chinese, and the entire infrastructure has been built by Chinese companies. The most of the added sweetener for most of these projects is it Chinese banks have decided to finance them. And because Chinese banks have taken the risk, most of these African countries have become indebted to Chinese banks. Even projects which the World Bank considered perpetually unprofitable, which will never make money, like Kenya's railway project, have been financed by Chinese banks. The project has so far lost $200 million. The idea is China, through its Belt Road initiative, wants to keep on pumping money into impoverished nations like Congo, Nigeria, Kenya, and help them build infrastructure. And they, in turn, will have to give the contracts back to the Chinese firms. Let us look at the balance of power. In 1991, China was hardly present in the continent. Today, 31 years later, China has 32% of all the infrastructure contracts in Africa, while Europe and America account only for 15. And China's influence in this region is growing as any project is sanctioned immediately. The whole idea being China is using its investments of infrastructure in Africa to secure long term contracts. Like the rail line in Kenya is secured by bauxite and cobalt. Also, China is making sure it will secure raw materials as collateral for loans given against infrastructure so that products that are required to build batteries to drive electric vehicles can be sourced. So China has now got a stranglehold for all commodities that are sourced from Africa. Africa is rich in metal, oil, gas, and other minerals and metals. These raw ores are mined and shipped across the world. Now, Africa has now basically surrendered to China because on easy terms on money it is getting. Recently, a major road was supposed to be built in Kenya where an American company was handed over this contract by the Kenyan government in a platter. Kenya initially agreed to pay cash upfront for this project. But as it went along, Kenya suddenly turned around and said that American banks have to fund this project at a rate which is subsidized by the American government. The American government balked at the idea of subsidizing interests to Kenyans. Kenya immediately cancelled the agreement and went over to China, which got the contract. So, most Western countries are peeved that China has managed to successfully integrate itself with all Africans and has managed to do deals with African leaders whom the West considered to be despotic and refused to do business. What this has meant is that the West's influence over Africa has declined significantly because China has picked up the mantle where the West dropped the ball. This has a huge strategic consequence for the West because if you remember the Second World War, the theater where the war turned the tide was in the fields of El Alamein between Egypt and Tripoli in Libya, which changed the course of the war, secured enough ports for the Allies, and also enough raw materials. The whole story in Africa is a fight for raw material. While US governments feel that they are better off not dealing with the government and think they can manage the stuff, what Chinese have done successfully is to ensure that they get a stranglehold of their infrastructure building program, and in turn the choice of assets can be pledged to them. Like I have said before, commodity metals, iron ore, bauxite, nickel, all that can be given away to the Americans who can acquire it at prices which are at a great discount to the world market. Unless the West wakes up, there is no hope of them retrieving the lost ground. It does not mean that the entire West is sitting on its haunches. France has done a small, smart thing. It has decided to cohabit and do business with these Chinese companies which have a contract. A lot of French infrastructure companies do execution for these Chinese companies. So there is going to be a rising popularity for Chinese companies because a local player will manage the show. Thank you for watching. Be rich. If you like this video, kindly subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, the videos will not reach you. It's not enough that you subscribe to my channel. Kindly share this video with your friends and relatives. Once again, I thank you for watching. Be rich. I have written two books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support.